Hi math lovers, welcome to notes number 53. We're at the end of the chapter, so we're going to be reviewing what everybody should be doing right now is taking a look at the 5 problems that I have. I have them listed in your assignment guide, and you should give them a shot before you watch this video. This video should be a review of these problems, okay? The first one, so again, I'm coming to you with a review of these 5 problems. You should have them done. All right, the first one has to do with the difference quotient. So we're going to take f of x, which is 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, and we're going to use this formula, difference quotient. You'll be using that in calculus. But for now, we're just going to think about it as a substitution. So f of x plus h, everywhere there's an x, I'm going to put an x plus h. So that is going to be 2 times x plus h squared plus 3 times x plus h minus 1, and I'm going to hold that together, so that's my first term. My second one is f of x, so that's just going to be, the second one is going to be f of x, which is going to be 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, all right? So holding the whole thing together there. And then I've got over my h value, whole thing's over h. I'm going to need to clean this whole mess up, okay? So let's see, I'm going to FOIL this out. So this is going to be x squared plus, so 2 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, right? Plus 3x plus 3h minus 1, distribute my minus sign, minus 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 over h. I didn't plan accordingly. I didn't give you enough space here. FOIL this out. So I have 2x squared plus, distribute 4xh plus 2h squared plus 3x plus 3h. Do you guys mind if I just do that? Okay, so then it's going to be minus 2x squared minus 3x all over h. All right, so I'm looking, pachoo, those fall out. And let's see, so I'm left with 4xh plus 2h squared. My 3x's, pachoo, they fall out, plus 3h all over h. I don't know about you, but I noticed that there's a factor of h in every single term that I have here. So h is going to go into each term. So I have 4x plus 2h plus 3. And I need to tell my reader, because I divided by h, that h cannot equal 0. Okay? So there's my value that I have here. Don't forget x equals 0. The second question can be found, a nice, pretty picture in your textbook on page 209. It's number 102. So what you're really going to do is you've got this function, you've got this continuous constant function right here, constant function y equals 3. And you've got a graph right here, this curve is y is equal to 4x minus x squared, okay? So I want to know the distance, and I labeled it here in pencil. I want to know how far it is from here to here. Now, you don't know where this is on the graph, do you? You know, it could be over here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be anywhere. So you really want to come up with a function for that, and we're going to call that function h, okay? So h in the textbook, the length, we're going to call it h. So really what I'm thinking is it's this value of the top minus whatever here is the bottom, right? So it's really the top minus the bottom. So h is equal to, let's see, the top is 3. The bottom is going to be 4x minus x squared, right? So I can simplify that to be 3 minus 4x squared plus x squared. That's it. I'm just subtracting it. Okay. Next one is from your textbook, and I'm not even going to try to draw the pictures. Okay. So go to your textbook on page 235, and they have these beautiful graphs right here that we're going to be looking at. All right. So I'm going to zoom in so everybody can see them. Okay. So we're looking at the graphs, and I want to look at problem number 52, which is right here. All right. It says, find f of g of 1. So f of g of 1, that's when I'm starting with g of 1. So I go over the function that's g. I go to 1. I go up to 1, and I get 3. Okay. 3 is what I have. Now I'm going to take that 3 and put it into the f function. So I go over to 3 and up, and where am I? I'm at 2. So f of g of 1 is 2. Okay? And then part B is g of f of 3. So I'm going to start in the f function at 3. Over here at 3, I go up, I get 1. So then I'm going to take that 1 and put it into my g function, and I'm up here at, I did this backwards. Terrible, terrible. I'm starting in the f function. Unbelievable, Glennon. F of 3. I'm going to the f function, and I go up to 3, over to 2. Be careful, because you end up with a mistake. You have 2, over to 2, and put it into the g function, and you end up with 2. So easy to make a mistake. Don't fall for those tricks, okay? All right, so let's try another one. I got 2 more for you today. 2 more. I'm sure you're excited. Let me zoom back out so you can see my beautiful problems. Autofocus. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the function f of x is equal to 10 times the square root of 3 minus x. And I would like to know what the domain is. What's the domain of that? What are my restrictions on that? Well, I know that underneath the radical sign, under here, this cannot be equal to 0, not be less than or equal to 0. It can't be negative, okay? So really, I'm going to say 3 minus x has to be greater than or equal to 0. And so 3 is greater than or equal to x. So I know x is less than or equal to 3, okay? But you already know this because you set that up. You went ahead and you graphed it. You looked at the graph of that problem, and I do believe it looks something like this, okay, the graph. And so I know my range is going to be, the lowest point will be at 0. So y is greater than or equal to 0, okay? My next step is to find the f of x, find the inverse, all right? Find the inverse function of this. So I'm going to take my original, follow the steps, make it y equals 10 times the cube root, or excuse me, square root of 3 minus x. I'm going to switch the x's and y's. So x is equal to 10 times the square root of 3 minus y. How about we move that? Now we'll square both sides. X squared is equal to 10 squared, which is 100, times 3 minus y. I'm solving for y now, friends. Okay, distribute that 100, 300, minus 100. Oh, that was really ridiculous, wasn't it? I should have just divided everything through by 100. Wouldn't that have been faster? So I have x squared over 100 equals 3 minus y. I guess it will end up with the same thing. So x squared minus 300 equals negative, no, yeah, my 100. Y, I'll divide everything through by negative 100. Yeah, that's right. Is it? Is it right? No, that's right. Gosh. Negative, so negative x squared over 100 minus 300 over negative 100 equals y. All right, we'll do it that way. And then so I have, let's see, we need to rewrite this in f of x notation. So that would be, let's see, negative x squared over 100 plus 3. Okay, so I have my function. Sorry about that. It's a review day, and I'm just stopping and thinking about the problem as I go. I could have done it this way, another way to do it. Maybe you did it that way. Now let's stop and think about our domain. If you think about this graph, this is going to be a parabola. I need to restrict the domain. All right, so the graph of this is going to look something like that. And I need to restrict the domain. So I'm going to look at my graph, I'm going to think about it. Or I know the shortcut because the domain and the range for my inverse function switch from the original. So if my domain was x is less than 3, then I know my range is y is less than or equal to 3. And my range, if it's y is greater than or equal to 3, it's going to be x is greater, greater than or equal to 0. So these, I should point, these two fit together and these two fit together. Do you see how the domain becomes the range and the range becomes the domain? Isn't that magical? Okay, and of course, it's all reflected over the line of y is equal to x. Okay, last one, what are the zeros of f of x is equal to the opposite of 4 x squared plus 5. So zeros. So they're asking me, where does the graph cross 0? So I'm setting it equal to 0. That's it. So 4x squared equals 5. X squared is equal to 5/4. So x is equal to plus or minus 5, the square root of 5/4. So x is equal to plus or minus root 5 over 2. Okay? So what you can do on your handy dandy calculator, you can pull that out, or you can think about what this parabola is going to look like. This plus 5 at the end is going to take the translation and shift it up 5. So we're up here at 5, okay? And then this negative sign is going to tell me it's going to open down. And I want to know these two coordinates. What are those two coordinates? Where does it cross? Well, this is going to be root 5 over 2. And over here is negative root 5 over 2. Okay? That's a fun problem. I kind of like that. I like how it's not pretty and you might not know the answer from the very start. Okay? So have fun with your problem set. You're doing the textbook review today.